your worry? So what's your worry? Time traveler. Time traveler. You can't keep living for tomorrow. You won't see the sunlight if you're hiding in the shadows of the dreams you have and things you think might take away your joy, but they're not here. So what's your hurry? So what's your hurry? Oh, time traveler. Time traveler, yeah. Live for today. Live for today. Live for today. Live for today. Time traveler.
Just you'll just stick your head in. Is that it?
All right, guys.
Oh man!
Oh boy. Sorry we're late, guys.
Oh, hey guys, we are. Thanks for coming to Satellites. We are live from Meow Wolf.
What room are we in?
We are in the black and white room that has all this kind of cool cartoon things. Right behind this camera here, I see the Zach Touchon and Katerina Touchon. They're all making out.
What?
They're helping us produce and direct this big event.
So what's going on today?
So we are working with the Santa Fe Prevention Alliance, and this is about getting the word out about from adults to adults and adults to adolescents about substance abuse, drugs, and alcohol.
Yes, absolutely. So we have an amazing team here. Each of them have come up with their own creative spot about how they see this conversation going down, the best and healthiest ways to talk to kids about substance abuse, just to open up the conversation, because it's a little bit of an awkward conversation, especially if you're somebody who has used substances, has not used substances. So we have some amazing guests who are going to kind of walk us through the conversation.
And this is a unique experience because
Yes.
we're actually filming live downstairs and around with our 5 teams down there, while Satellites is going live up here.
Mhm.
So there is a bunch of stuff happening, a lot of moving parts and all that. And as different guests move from one room to the next or get wrapped, we are going to be inviting them up here. Karina Lopez, she's one of the heads of the Santa Fe Prevention Alliance. She was scared to be on screen. And we were running a few minutes behind, and they said, hey, we need to get you ready. Before they even finished the sentence, she was already downstairs out there. So we're going to try to get her to come back up here and introduce herself and the wonderful cause that they represent.
Hello, Levante Joseph.
Levante.
Hi. Welcome.
Good, Levante. I know a Levante.
Oh, yeah. It's
Which one?
probably your friend.
Levante Joseph.
Hey, welcome.
So we're doing here, like Aubrey was saying, we have a lot of talent. We have
Hi,
public
TJ.
figures. We also spoke just recently with the state auditor of New Mexico, Brian Colon. He was a dear friend of mine for, I want to say, like 20 years. I got started in politics right out of college, out of grad school. And he was one of the first people that was very generous to me and very helpful and supportive as he was growing in his career too. Now he's like a bigwig, and he was able to come down and speak with us. Anything else that we want to start off, and we're just jump into this?
No, let's jump in with our first guest. We
Okay.
have an incredible.
So we have an incredible
List of
guest.
people.
Her name is Kermit the Frog. Oh no, wait, that's not Kermit the Frog.
No,
What
sadly,
is your name
he's not
again?
here today.
Amanda Taylor.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Amanda
right.
Taylor. Yeah, I
Let's
was
make
like,
some room for Amanda.
is she gonna sit in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay, none of the thing in the room moves, so we're gonna
Only the
Oh,
chairs.
it shakes,
they
though. It
shake
shakes.
The whole room. All right.
we're gonna have you sit
Let's
right
move
there.
that.
All right, this
I'm gonna
works.
bring this beautiful chair in for
Thank
you.
you. It's
This is
great.
Amanda Taylor.
Hi.
Amanda, you're here from LiveLink. you said?
Yes, I am.
Absolutely. So, what? Tell us a little bit about what you do for them.
Scoot in a
I'm
little
sorry.
bit.
Hi.
Position ourselves.
Get you up closer.
All
So,
right.
so how this works here?
I know, we're getting a little close. I know.
Yeah,
Our
no.
6
Yeah,
feet rule.
she's
I
like,
guess
whoa.
We are
1
COVID
inch.
compliant. We're on screen now, so it's
Vaccinated and-
a little different for this part. But
Mhm.
so you are live right now on Satellites.
Yeah.
It's our podcast, and Aubrey and I will be here, and we want to learn about you and your experience
Right.
of substance abuse, because she has a unique vision
Mhm.
and experience of where her career has taken her. So I'll let you begin.
No, great. So I work with LifeLink. I'm a clinical mental health therapist. So I work with individuals in group therapy. So we work with severe mental health in the community, substance use, and we also work with as well as the courts, the federal courts, people getting out of prison,
Mhm.
and as well as the homelessness. So
That's
Okay.
incredible. That's really, and it must be a rewarding job, but a difficult job, I would imagine.
it is. It has its ups and downs. We do work with severe cases and also those that are in recovery or those reaching recovery. So we do abstinence sobriety, but we also do harm reduction with those that are working towards wanting sobriety, but not really sure in this ambivalence. But we do work on safety with harm reduction.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
Here's a question, and you might not know this.
Okay.
What age of all these people, the homeless and all the people that you're involved with, at some point in their life, they get started with substance abuse? What's the common age that starts? Is it much younger? Is it middle age? Is it college, high school? I mean, like, what is the biggest percent?
So it'll kind of vary because it depends on when somebody begins a substance. I've had clients begin substances at 5, 6 years old.
Oh my gosh.
so-
like, what kind of substance would that be?
Usually it starts with alcohol, marijuana, or cocaine, usually the bigger ones. And then as they get older, it gets into the harder substances.
And that would be because of the adolescent. I mean, the parents or the adults in their life.
It could be a learned behavior from personal experience, but it can also be, as adolescents, they gear towards groups that they find connection with. If they don't, if they can't get that connection through family or through, their personal environment, so they try to seek it out in other environments and other
Sure.
groups outside of the community. So
One of the things I've been learning in this process, because I've never taken a drug, I've never even smoked a cigarette, and that's just for myself, and not to judge on anybody else, but I'm learning so much about this, and I want to help get the words out there, because as we talked to Brian Colon, when you get involved with substance, alcohol, and drugs, you're not able to be to live your life at your fullest potential. You have dreams. Every person has dreams. We all have feelings, emotions, things that we want to accomplish. The people in my life that I know that have turned to substance abuse at different points of their life, they've never had a chance to excel and to complete and bring to fruition what they wanted to in their lives. But those that have stopped and seek sobriety and were able to change their life around, I've seen so many of them blossom. Even like one of my cousins is just he's blown up as a producer in Hollywood. I'm so proud of you, Noli. So anyway,
well, I actually wanted to ask you, Amanda, how do you advise parents to open up that awkward conversation with youth, whether it's their own youth or a younger person in their life?
So the way you want to see it is this is an emotional time. I mean, you're reconnecting with, if it's children in your life that has some disconnect, there's a lot of hurt and pain and guilt and shame around it. And so kind of being authentic and honest, not hiding who you are or trying to be somebody else. Kids and youth can actually see when you're lying. They kind of know when they're being undermined. And so being honest and open and kind of having this level of empathy and understanding and kind of a heart to heart, but also being very cautious and not giving too much detail of experiences, but more of like the personal feeling and kind of expressing like, I feel that what I've done has hurt you and I apologize, and kind of like that amends thing in the AA group kind of does take part. But it's also hard because there is so much shame and guilt around substance use, because there is that internal struggle and that psychological pain that it's like trying to mend, as well as medical issues. Substance use ties with medical problems where people can't find relief from, pain or, upcoming loss that may be happening. So.
Yeah.
One of the things coming to mind when you're saying this too is that each individual that deals with alcohol or drugs, they're individual and they're unique. Not every method, everyone's going to respond differently to different methods of trying to help them, to inspire them or support them. So as adults, it's keep an eye out for our adolescents and keep pay attention to start to be, if there's kids in your lives and whatever age from, middle school or you said, elementary school through high school, college, just always be supportive. With my friends, when they smoke and stuff, anytime they put out a cigarette, I don't like to be, like to poke and stuff, but I always share as my father died in my arms and he had lung cancer. And at that point in my life, it broke my heart to lose my dad like that. And, I just want to let you know that, you don't want to break other people's hearts, and just keep that in mind. Just not to, I don't want to squish people or anything like that, but I want to inspire them to just, pay attention a little bit more.
Yeah. So a lot of times, role models that I've had in my life have approached substance abuse and alcohol from more of a just because I said so, or a very fear-based, this is what's going to happen and that kind of thing. So is this a healthy approach, or is there another way to express, because it does come from a place that I would imagine as a parent, it's you are very afraid that something terrible will happen,
it comes from a place of fear. And so that's where it's easy for parents as adults, like, we want our children to go through what we went through. So it's kind of projecting that fear of the possibility that is not even a possibility at all at this point, but it's kind of projecting a possible fear. So kind of putting a ground rule or a power struggle saying, you can't do this, I don't want you to do this, kind of opens the door to curiosity, because children are curious, they want to do things to better understand. So as a parent, if you explain things and give them a reason why, I mean, children and teens are smart. They get things sometimes we adults forget they understand. So if you're able to explain to them what's going on, but at the same time, as parents, we don't have control over the choices they make as they become adults, because then you do shift in development where, when they're younger, they do need that support. But as they become older, like I have a 15 and 12-year-old. So, we're kind of going through that where friends are kind of the focus right now. And it's less about the parents or the caregivers. And but you can only do as best as you can as an adult to kind of instill safety and understanding about the world around them and what they're going to experience. And kind of build those skills, those life skills that they can use as they become adults.
That's a good point. You were saying about when you were saying that, when you had your friend.
So one of the mothers that I spoke to before this event, just to inform myself more, mentioned to me that she has 3 daughters. And so with them, substance abuse can be even more of a scary scenario in that being out of their facilities or unaware of themselves, they may be taken advantage of. Again, this can come from a fear-based scenario as well. So it's hard to convey that message of, you know, these types of things can happen to you if you don't take these precautions. So is there another way to help from, because both are very delicate subjects.
They are, and I think you have to take into fact like the child or the teen of how much they understand and kind of their sensitivity as well. So you really, it's kind of like you're teaching, you're doing some psychoeducation and helping them understand, but you kind of have to know their type of personality and how they take certain things. And
you can only know that as their parent.
Yes, exactly. Because children, I mean, I taught. I was a teacher for 10 years. So I kind of have that in my background as well as doing clinical work. So you do have to relay information to youth and children in a very sensitive way, but also educational. And then also too, ask them questions, kind of, you can give so much information, but bring them into it. Ask them, well, what do you think about it? Have you ever had experiences? Like, well, what did you do about that when you were in a situation?
With that, one of the things I learned, and sorry to jump in here because I get all these ideas that pop in from different conversations. But just like over the counter drugs, drugs are measured, and for the most part, if they're with pharmaceutical drugs or something, those can be substance or can be abused as well. But there are also specific numbers of how many milligrams that each one is. But when you're doing drugs and stuff like that, that doesn't get measured. There's an idea of what it is. And then each individual, each person is different, how your body is going to respond. If someone has an allergy to peanuts or to food and they take it and they get allergy and they get swollen or different things happen to them. Well, when you're taking drugs too, that can happen to you as well. And not to scare people away from this. I know I have so many friends that have taken drugs and they've tried it and this and that, and we're older now and they've gotten through those points of their lives, but very few people I know excel and are able to grow.
Well, and then you're always kind of on that testy subject with medical cannabis as well. But I think the main purpose I work with my clients on is, well, what is the purpose for the cannabis? Because we do have to look at the factor of the purpose. Is it something that you need to get through the day, or is it something that aids you, for example, like cancer patients, pain, some ADHD, anxiety. But as kind of asking yourself an honest reflection. Why am I engaging in this, and how is it benefiting me, or is it more hindering me? And so it's kind of, whenever you kind of get into those conversations, it's like, let's be honest with yourself. Is this hurting you, or is it benefiting you in a way? And kind of thinking about that, because a lot of people who struggle with substance use can go down. And again, we talk about harm reduction. So going from, meth to marijuana as a way of coping, and then kind of doing a step down towards eventually sobriety. So you kind of have to go at the client's pace when it comes to that, because everybody's in their own level of sobriety. And we always want to emphasize the importance of slips and not holding severe guilt around a slip, and using that as a learning opportunity to change something in the near future.
And can you share what a slip is? So
a slip is somebody who's reached any level of sobriety, 90 days, 6 months, maybe a year, and they have had an incident. They've had a drink of alcohol or they've done meth, but they continue to kind of bounce back and continue. Well, that slip is something that can be used as a learning experience to better know yourself. Okay, well, what was going on? What was the initial trigger? What were some of the emotions behind it? And kind of reflecting on it. Well, what could you have done differently instead of engaging in this? And that's where you kind of explore it and then try again. Because we're not going to get anything perfect the first time.
No,
we're not perfect.
Or the 10th time. I mean, perfect just doesn't happen. So I think that's lovely. And I love that you mentioned kind of the, I'm sorry, I'm not going to use the right term, but sort of stepping down from a major drug to a lesser, and then hopefully reaching at some point full sobriety. I think that that's such a lovely process, because it's, I've tried to go cold turkey on sugar before.
Yeah.
Your body will react. This is a terrible analogy, but I'm just saying, I know how hard these.
You make it a point though, because just like sugar, there is an addiction to sugar, because your body gets so used to something for so long, and the minute you take it away, it kind of goes into the shock. And it's the same thing with any substance, caffeine. I mean, your body goes into this. So that's where a step down program is a lot easier. And plus you're more looking at safety and harm reduction, as well as your kind of reach sobriety, because we're looking at small steps, realistic steps with clients. Because my clients can be like, I want sobriety, I want to be sober. Okay, but what are the steps we need to do to work towards to take it? Because sometimes high expectations can lead to severe failure and low self-esteem and not meeting those high expectations.
Can you share like a story, like a positive story that worked out, where you saw someone come in through the facility and then was able to make a nice transition and for success? Is that?
I don't know if I can give stories due to confidentiality, but I can do personal. So my husband, he went through a lot of childhood trauma and things like that. And so he's open with his story, and he was on drugs and, wild child kind of, and so what really helped him to kind of gear towards was, his kids, but it took a while for him to kind of step down and kind of find himself. And so it just depends on the person's experience and what they're in. If they're still engaging in risky situations or the same community they were in as they were using substances, it's harder to kind of get out. But I have seen at LifeLink a lot of clients come in, and some of them repeating, and they come back in knowing the program and the community in general, the resources they have to them are still there. And kind of acknowledging that strength of like, hey, you're still motivated, you're still here, you're still coming back,
still doing the work. That's it's none of this is easy. So and finding new ways to cope is extraordinarily difficult. So I think just returning after slipping is a very brave move. So
it is. And I've seen a lot of turnarounds, even people coming out from as a felon and coming out of jail. And it's hard because there's a stereotype on those that come out of jail that are in sobriety and have learned to use those skills. And so them kind of reaching out for resources to maintain that sobriety is also important as well, and kind of coming up with a relapse prevention plan. And so that's different than reaching a sobriety plan in itself. So it's kind of two different things.
You have so many resources. Can you give us a couple of resources for parents that they might be able to find just simply maybe through LifeLink, or any other in the state of New Mexico, some of these things that parents can find online or within their communities that they can say, okay, so this is awkward. I still feel like I'm going to be on banana peels while I'm having this conversation. Who can I go to and get a little bit of counsel or a resource where I can get my kid involved somewhere where they'll be less likely to party and experience some of these things?
So we're always looking at getting youth engaged in community stuff. If they're bored, they're going to find something to do. And so that's where, with the drugs more accessible, especially. So if they're engaged in things, or if you're engaged with them, for resources, I don't have anything on top of my head.
Oh, that's
but it's
we're going to put a link in the bottom of YouTube with tons of resources, guys. I'm sorry to put you on the spot. Sorry about that.
You're like, she's trying to make a monologue so she can until the show runs over.
You never know. There's so many resources. So like the DEA website usually has something geared towards, you can even look up substance support with teens. I mean, the internet's always really resourceful, but you can also look up if you're needing a therapist focused for your youth. Psychology Today is really good resource to find. I use referrals for youth and for other clients.
What we'll make sure is that our producers, I'm going to put you guys on the spot, Adam and Angela and Robert.
Hi guys.
You guys can come up with a couple of links, and then of course we'll get some from you as well, and then we'll create a page and a bunch of links so that we can try to help out as many people, give a resource for people to get information. The whole purpose of this is getting comfortable. The whole purpose of this is for us to open up conversations so we can be comfortable and we don't have to be not hold back. Yeah. Just like we need to, I don't remember having a conversation about drugs. I remember there was DARE.
DARE. Sure. McGruff the crime dog.
Yes.
My dad's DEA, so I grew up around all that.
Yeah.
So I got firsthand experience and all that stuff.
Well, I'm so sorry to cut you short, dear, but I'm called to set now for this next. I have to go to the next room, guys. I'm doing this wonderful spot with Georgina Feist, who you'll meet a little bit later. And so I'm going to have to run down, but I wanted to say thank you so much, Amanda, for being here. We appreciate all of the just your openness and your guidance in this. It's an awkward conversation to have, and I feel like we all have a little bit more of a handle on it now. So thank you.
No, yeah, and in the near future, I mean, I don't mind coming back on and explaining more things in the future
Yes,
about
I
other
did.
things of
We
mental
would love
health
that.
I don't
Yeah.
mind bringing in, because there's a
Yes.
whole range of stuff that we can talk about and address.
Fabulous.
I was going to say, why don't you go ahead and take Amanda down so she can see you perform, and then you can
Excellent.
introduce our next guests that are going to be
Wonderful.
standing there if they're paying attention.
The Touchon.
Oh, they're watching us live. They're watching themselves, so come on. Yeah, thank you so
Right.
much.
Of course,
Thank you.
And it's wonderful talking. So
Thank you.
Watch
Bye,
it.
everybody.
Cool. I want-
Oh yeah, I thought you
There's
said
a-
I was thinking that too.
Cool. So
Thank you.
we have our next guests, but they're very dear friends and producing partners of ours down here at Meow Wolf. And with no further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mix it up. You guys come to this side so I can get a different. Cool. You come over that way, or actually I'll be in the middle.
All right, guys, have fun. I'll see you later.
Bye.
What's up? We're live on satellites.
Yeah, Cat, come down.
Oh,
Look, you are live. You guys are black and white. Coming closer a little bit. Our shoulders are a little bit more.
perfect.
Yes, we are being COVID safe. We're just taking off the mask for the camera here, so everybody knows.
Come in. So I'm gonna let you guys talk for a little bit. Introduce introduce yourself, and say what's been your experience on getting this project off the ground and coming all the way from Hollywood, California, or Santa Monica, California, guys' case.
It's close enough.
And let's talk.
So my name's Zach Touchon. I'm an actor and a writer and a director and author. I do a lot of different creative things.
Zach is also with Helium 3. He's one of our singers. He's a singer-songwriter. Do smile real quick, just a little thing.
Your smile, turn me around when I'm feeling bad. So that's one of the.
So good.
So yeah, I play some music. I do a lot of different creative things, but I come from humble beginnings and know a lot about drug and alcohol abuse via my family. I lost a lot of good friends and lost a cousin, and my mom was in recovery my entire life. So this subject really speaks close to my heart because parents need to talk to their kids about drugs and alcohol, and they need to be straightforward. They need to be honest. And this is the message that we really wanted to get out. We kind of came from a comedy kind of standpoint because we got a real great opportunity to work with Carlos Medina, who's a great comedian. So we kind of went with this Saturday Night Live kind of vibe. But, it's important that we get the message out so parents communicate with their children instead of just putting it off and not talking about it. The other thing that we talk about is nonverbal communication and the idea that, we live by example. So we have to be a good, positive example and a role model for the kids around us, not only our own kids, but other people's kids and just people in general. So communication is what we really kind of focused on.
Yeah. Katerina, as one of the director and producers of the spots, tell us a little bit about your spot
So we had you mean the spot
downstairs.
The spot.
Well, I don't know.
Like the room. Oh.
Yeah, you go more into a little bit of
Like,
detail.
are we talking about the red spot, like selling a piece of art, or?
Yeah, that's what I like.
I don't know what that is.
The red spot is when
It's a red dot.
Red dot when the art piece is sold.
Oh,
So it's still in the gallery,
Oh.
so other people can see it.
gotcha.
But
I'm
it's
definitely
red-
talking about downstairs, the
Okay.
spot. Your guys' your
Yeah, so we were actually recording our piece, 15 minutes video in very, very nice living room looking room.
Yeah, so
And
for Meow Wolf is an extraordinary. What I say, Meow Wolf is like if you take like Disneyland and all the amusement parks and you put them together and you put them in a blender with David Lynch, Tim Burton, and the art. And you mix it all together.
Yeah, so we chose very nice room which looks exactly like a real house. So we had the couch and the table and the fireplace, but something weird is everywhere. So for example, our third actor, Medina,
Carlos
Medina, he showed up through.
He came crawling through the fireplace as a cholo.
Yeah, so you can actually crawl into this fireplace. Then, for example, in the part where is the kitchen, you can open the door of the refrigerator and you can go inside.
Into some other world.
Yeah, so it was great. So it worked out. We kind of had a live television show, this kind of shows where they're just sitting on the couch and have this very honest talk. And I guess
and then it's interrupted by this comedian.
Yeah, so it really worked out great. The combination between our talk about this very important theme and this interactive, immersive exhibition place that Meow Wolf created here. So.
And to be honest, it was a tough thing kind of walking into, because we have a very short period of time to do this, so it didn't seem like it was going to work out. But once we got all the creative minds together and we were able to come up with our different parts, the other rooms, there's 5 other groups that are doing little skits and things that they're doing to help kind of break the ice for parents to talk about this issue. But wow, I mean, it's been amazing. We're doing a podcast. We're shooting 5 different segments, 15-minute segments, and we're putting them all together in like an hour and a half, 2 hours, which is like not how it's done. But we're reinventing the wheel with Jerry here, who's a really very organized and kind of brilliant dude. He's good looking. Kind of looks like Steven Seagal.
Yeah, so Punk. Okay, Jason Statham here.
Hey,
what's up, dude?
Somebody recognized me the other day with Zach, for sure. They recognized Zach, but then they kind of recognized me, and I'm thinking,
got our autograph
what
and everything.
actors look similar with.
Mm-hmm. Who is it?
Katerina Touchon.
Yeah.
An up-and-coming superstar.
Yeah.
We're here live on the Satellites podcast. Check out the link on my page there.
Cameras everywhere.
Now, Katerina is from
Originally from Moscow, Russia.
Wow. And substance abuse is something that's worldwide. It doesn't discriminate against any individual. If someone chooses to get involved with this, things can go very wrong. What is substance, alcohol and drugs? What's it like in Russia, and how's that handled?
I think that these problems, I don't know, every country, every city have these problems. And like here in the United States, there are areas which are good, there are areas which are bad. So as I said earlier in our video, I was pretty lucky because I was growing up in the nice neighborhood. Nobody was even smoking in my family besides grandfather, but he was on the war, so it's kind of logical.
Which war?
The east, what you call it, like the east front of World
War II against Germany.
The Cold War?
No, against Germany in the World War II.
World War II, okay.
So, so I was pretty lucky, and my parents and my school environment, my university environment gave me this example that set up very good priorities in my life. And what I said, what I've mentioned, did it stop me from trying everything? No, because I'm not sure that you actually can stop it somehow. But what you can give to a kid is the right mindset when at some point they will make a right decision. It's like you can try how to smoke, but then you make the right decision not to smoke.
Not
For
to
example,
continue on.
Yeah, not to continue. The same with drugs, the same with alcohol. Why not to? I'm sorry for saying that, but young people, the part of their life is having fun. And I'm not sure that you can say that my kid will never try alcohol. Unfortunately, that's how they're growing up. But what you can give them is the right priorities when they
right
can
tools,
right head on their shoulders, when they can make the right decisions in the moment when they need to make right decisions.
And that's why we open up this idea about communication, because if the wall of communication is, and the door of communication is closed, when the kids are having a hard time and they're doing things that you don't know about, and the reason that you don't know about it is because they're not communicating with that. So you've closed the door of communication because of being condescending or judging or making them think that it's, you know, the most horrible thing in the world. So they're hiding these behaviors from the parents. So that's why we focused on communication, is because for me, this subject is more about life and death, you know. Losing friends to drugs and alcohol, losing family members to drugs and alcohol. It's serious business. And so we kind of played it from a comedy kind of thing, but we ended on a very serious note that this is life and death, and it really can be. So I don't know if who we're talking to out here. I think we're getting excited, a little bit excited about the Western we're going to be shooting tomorrow, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So one of the things that we're doing out here with Rokitpig is we're shooting a Western. It's a trailer for a feature film, and we have a bunch of friends and family coming out to join us. We've been riding horses the last couple of days. I've been able to introduce. You guys probably saw that video on my feed. If you didn't check it out, at Zach Touchon. I was able to get we got one of the fun things about making movies, and I don't know if I was ever into drugs and not being able to be comprehensive and all that, I wouldn't be able to put these things together. And this is something I love to do as a producer, is you get the people that you love and the people in your life that are doing the things that they love, and you put all the different people together in the areas that they love to do. And now you get a production going of 20, 30, 40 people or more. And everyone, generally loves what they're doing. We're from you love art, or if you love singing, if you love acting, if you love makeup and special effects, and the list goes on and on and on, especially in production. There's probably not one position that doesn't exist that someone likes in some capacity. But anyway, we have.
I want to add one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we were kind of discussing with Zach the ideas that we want to bring through our video, I liked what he said about relatability. What relatability? Yeah, it's like for a kid, sometimes it's very hard to talk to a parent, because parent is someone who is always above, who is more serious, who is always know what to do the right things, etc. But if you want to open up the conversation, share about your fuck ups, share about your life experience, how you
be
relatable. And this will, because I think that what opens the parent side, the human side of the parents to kids. Like, you're not the parent whom I need to be frightened with, right?
Yeah.
But you are a human being. You also had these problems, for example, and you have the experience of dealing with these problems, and you share not from the point like, don't do this, be the right person, but from your own experience, like.
Yeah, so we're trying to break the chain of just pointing the finger and not being able to express or to open up the conversation, to be relatable. We're all guilty in some way or shape or form, of not following the rules or guidelines, or to whatever capacity that is. So again, what I'm saying, this is such an incredible topic, because I got to learn so much to this point. One of the things that keeps sticking out of my head that I want to share with you is that when you're doing alcohol or drugs, or you're doing that with other people that are doing that as well, you guys are all kind of liabilities to each other. Someone that you might have been able to trust or was there to protect you, or there that you could count on, they're going to be inebriated or under the influence in whatever regards, and they're not going to be able to. They're not the same person. You're not the same person. And now, one of my very dear friends, she just did a commencement speech at her high school, and we went there, and she did this wonderful, was it a commencement speech, And is that right? The commencement speech? And so she had a great, she shared, from her experience over the last 20 years. Well, that night, after, 77 or 73 or something like that, students went out and they graduated and they left. That night, one of them, was drunk and ran into a tree and wrapped their car around a tree, and they're gone. And, kind of sucked. My
little sister's boyfriend / fiance was killed by a drunk driver just recently, about a year ago. Wake Self. If you get a chance, check out Wake Self. He's an amazing hip hop artist. He's a legend here in New Mexico.
Yeah. Whew, this kind of getting deep. I'm like already teary-eyed a little bit. We have different stories. I don't know if Robert, one of our producers, Robert Dumond, he's in Finland. I don't know, Robert, would you be up for coming on a little bit and sharing a little bit from your experience about substance abuse? Hey, Robert, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, Robert is what. I know we've all met you before, but go ahead and you've been listening to the conversation. Share a little bit from your experience, about substance abuse.
All right. Well, I'm going to be blunt and honest. When I was younger, actually, I got into drugs and alcohol, and it was. I didn't have like a real good life growing up and stuff like that. And for me, it was used as an escape. And it took me hitting rock bottom before I turned my life around and realized that, it's not the drugs that I needed. And it was causing more harm than it was adding anything to my life. And I had a couple near-death experiences because of it. And I eventually had to decide that I didn't want to go down that road anymore. And getting clean and changing my life around was probably one of the hardest things I ever did in my life.
Wow.
And
I didn't know that, actually. I've known you for around the last decade or so, and I've only known you to be a husband and a father and just an incredible business partner. I'm so grateful for you. This affects us, and it affects all of us, and in some way, shape, or form. We're gonna go ahead and say goodbye to Zach and Katerina. You guys wanted to say anything before you head out?
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to say thank you for that story, brother, because, hitting rock bottom, that's a lot of times is what it takes with alcohol, with businesses, with relationships, with all of these different things. That's why communication is so important, so that we can get in there and try to help these kids make better decisions before they have to go all the way down, because building back up is so hard. So thank you for that story. I appreciate you. We have to actually get on to this next little production, but that was awesome. Thanks, brother.
Dude, man.
Amazing.
Thank you for coming all the way again from California to be out here. We're going to play some more. We got some more fun things to do the next couple of days. Beautiful
Awesome.
Katerinas. Yeah. Oh, say something about your artwork.
We'll say what?
Say something about your art.
So I'm an artist as well. If you're going to be in LA, TouchonGallery.com. We'll be at the LA Art Show at the end of July. It's going to be awesome. Come out and check out Alex Scher, who is our featured artist, amazing underwater photographer. And LA Art Shows end of July. TouchonGallery.com. At Zach Touchon.
Katerina
Touchon.
Touchon.
Boom.
Cool. Right on.
All
You
right,
guys
brother.
take it good.
Thank
Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys were just live on Satellites Podcast.
See ya.
You're live.
One of the things I want to share too, and I think this goes into almost anything, is that I imagine with substance abuse but any it doesn't even have to be anything on a negative sense. You want to create a momentum in your life that's a momentum. Everything in our lives are momentum. It's energy and momentum that's moving and moving, whether it's upward, downward, sideways, or whatever. What we want to do is try to stay in alignment and centered with ourselves and be grounded. When you are doing these, when you are this, then you're able to make smart decisions, and the decisions come naturally because you're listening to how you feel. When you start to take onto the drugs, which I haven't taken or anything, but I haven't ever been altered in a way to where I haven't been able to do what I wanted. So I just want to, try to come up with ideas. Say, if you're taking drugs and you're getting into a bad spot, the best thing to do is just stop the momentum, stop in whatever capacity you can, just stop the momentum. Even if it's just laying down and taking a nap and making a phone call to someone that can help you, or or listening to some good music that's something that inspires you and stuff and take you back to healthy. What we're going to do now, I was going to introduce one of our very, very dear friends, one of our other partners. He's a singer. He's also with Helium 3 label. He did his first recording out here in New Mexico, Lessman's, and it was awesome. So what I love about music is that with film, music is involved with film in every aspect. My dad introduced film or music to me growing up. A lot of orchestra, big band stuff that would happen in these westerns and stuff. And there's always this inspiring music that went along with the pictures and all the characters. What I hear is a common dialogue that's happening when we're interviewing all these people and our other guests that we've met with substance abuse, is that they all say to get involved with activities, sports or arts, music, all these types of things, because they help support and inspire the individuals. And when that happens in a positive way with that momentum, you're able to accomplish quite a lot. But anyway, with that said, I'm going to bring in Jared Allan. He's called Mississippi Jukes. He's a dear friend of mine. Come in. Which side would you like? Yeah? Now, how about you come over here?
Okay. All right, I'll bounce out now.
Okay,
Jared.
hey, Robert. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Oh, can you here, you can sit right here.
How you doing, Rob?
Yeah, come in.
Hey, man.
Cool. So here, put over your hat up just a little bit so we can see you. There you are. Cool. This is Mississippi Jukes. I had the pleasure of meeting. This shakes a little bit too, so it's okay.
Gotcha.
I met Jared it was in Goldfield, Nevada. Probably a year and a half ago, 2 years. I don't know.
End of 19, I think.
Yeah, so it was kind of recent, and he was showcasing underneath another singer, and I was just kind of present and just observed and saw how the relationships were with my team and just other people, and they were out there for the thing called Goldfield Days, and over that weekend, a couple of days of us all being in the same venues and crossing paths and stuff like that. Everyone who was the individual that was the headliner of the show that was that Jared was under was like the one that was in the prime light and all that and getting all the attention. And I just saw how he was treating everybody, and I saw the behind the scenes stuff, and I saw Jared, and I was like, man, and I had to go up to Jared, and I was just very honest with him. I was like, look, man, I don't know you. I've heard your music. I think I'm very touched by your stuff, but man, I think that this person that you're with, I don't know what your relationship is, but from what I understand, he's in charge of you, or he's the one that's delegating all this, but he's not your friend. He's not. I heard some of these dialogues. Anyway, because I spoke up, I made this friend now, and it's as incredible as he's changed my life quite a bit and enhanced in so many ways.
Touché.
And we're in a unique situation here at Meow Wolf and with the Santa Fe Prevention Alliance talking about substance abuse. And again, it hasn't affected my life personally for myself, but a lot of people I love and my friends and family and people that I've met along the way, and ones I have incredible respect for, have been affected by this either from themselves or people in their lives. And Mississippi here wanted to come on board and share some stuff, and we've been going nonstop this entire week.
It's been a
So
week.
we've been in production day after day. But anyway, let's get to meet you a little bit.
I'm from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Grew up just outside of New Orleans. Rich in culture there. You know, it's diverse there, and this is a great topic. It's you know, one that's probably been a factor in my life, my entire life. So there's been some battles, there's been some struggles, you know, had some opioid addiction abuse from my back being hurt and then getting hurt again. And
You had an accident. What happened?
I had a ceramic tile business for a while and just picked up something the wrong way. And it
Just that simple?
second time I was actually sitting on the toilet and I coughed.
You're
And-
kidding.
No, and couldn't walk for a while. Scared me, you know, and of course, you know, when you're hurting like that and they know the pain, they'll give you whatever you want. And all it did was numb my body to where I couldn't feel if I was getting better or not. But by then it was too late. You know, I was already addicted. And
Well, how do you know that you're addicted? Like what happened?
what I noticed that when I noticed I needed to stop was whenever the bottle was half full.
A bottle of pharmaceutical drugs,
Yeah.
painkillers.
Yeah. Knowing I was going to get more after those were gone. When I started worrying about them being half full, I knew there was something there, and that scared me.
Yeah.
And so I slowly, gradually got myself off of them, but the pain was still there. So, you know, you deal with that. And then once I was able to get the physical therapy and, you know, get back on my feet, I didn't need any of that, you know. But by then, you have some other things that surface from that lead you into self-medicating. And that's kind of where I got in trouble, I think, you know, was I didn't know how to cope with being injured, losing my business, losing my livelihood, losing everything. So I started self-medicating, and alcohol became a big part of my life. And once I noticed that it had to stay in my life, that became a big issue for me too. I came from a long line of addicted natured personalities, I guess you could say. But now, you know, there's a light at the end of that tunnel for anybody who thinks that they could not make it out of there. Express to somebody how you're feeling. If that's what you're doing is self-medicating. If it's, you know, just a hint, let them know. You know, talk to someone, like you said. I mean, it's not an easy thing to cope with.
So
you know,
there's a time that you want to make that change. Like what are some of the steps that you're saying? Like, you know,
when you start recognizing your self-worth, that was what it was for me.
you recognize how much you are worth as an individual and how much you're not accomplishing.
I realized how much time I wasted trying to numb feelings that I could do nothing about. That's
How has being involved and being able to follow and pursue something that you love with music, how has this affected your life?
rejuvenating.
Yeah.
It's given me a sense of purpose, a sense of self-worth, true belief in myself and in my music and in what's laid out in front of me. You know, I mean, the obvious is apparent. You know, some things you have to leave behind. You can't continue to be a better person and carry things from your past with you. You have to leave some things in the past, whether they be feelings, whether they be addictions, whether they be people, whether they be places. You really have to find that sense of self-love and want better for you, I think, is what really changed me, you know, and understand that, you know, not everybody's going to understand. That was one of the hardest things for me was, you know, expectation of people understanding. And, you know, I've reached a point to where I don't have to have people understand. I just have to know where I'm at myself and know what I want and know that the path forward, some things can be carried with. You know,
one of the things I've learned about Jared over the time I've got to know him is I mentioned before is about creating a positive momentum that moves yourself forward. If you have a positive momentum and you keep feeding that and building that, like you can feed, and you can feed drugs and you can feed alcohol, but there's all the good things in your life that you can do also. You want to set yourself up for happiness and joy and success. What you do with that, one of the things I do is you create scenarios where you're going to win. Things that you're always going to win and come out in a good headspace, a good heart space most of the time. And that's doing things that you love, doing things that make you happy. Being around people that make you feel good, or that you feel good around, and they allow you to also to express yourself in positive ways. These little things, you start to build this momentum, this wave, that's this current, this energy, that frequency that just keeps vibrating higher and higher, higher. Just petting you have pets, you have your cat. I never once pet my cat or dog and never felt love or joy. That's one of the first go-tos for any time that I'm feeling bad. I go there and I spend 5 minutes and just thank them and all that. This is wild how it works, but you create this momentum, and now as you start to grow, and then you have this tsunami that's going, and then something bad comes into your life, or negative, or this or that, it just gets swallowed up. It's so below you. Yeah. And it's such a blessing, Jared, to be out here in New Mexico, my home state, and be able to bring you back and record your first song, man.
From where I was at when you met me to where I am now has been probably one of the most positive things ever in my life. It was pretty rough for me. And then to have someone with true belief, man, it's refreshing.
Man. Well, tell us about the song real quick, and you guys will be hearing more about this, because it's
Candle is a military tribute to the wives at home, and it's just a symbolic expression of them lighting a candle or putting it in their window to let everybody know that their loved one is overseas on deployment and doing the bravest job that they can for us. And tells a story of how the heritage was passed down from World War II to, the granddaughter's husband going to Afghanistan. Just makes a statement about how we should all have appreciation and respect for those who defend our great nation. And I have a family history of military. They didn't let me go in. I was the baby. So, this is my way of giving back to not only to our servicemen and women, but to the families who sacrifice for us. That's the main thing, because there's not a lot of recognition on that end, and
we're gonna be doing a music video, and the songs will be coming out very soon. We'll do little snippets and stuff. We'll put up a little snippet we took on the ranch with Fred Espinosa while we're getting ready to do that Western we're talking about. But we got a nice clip of Mississippi here doing
it's a great story.
It's so good. It's gonna be heartwarming and supportive too. So, man, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Stay positive. If you're in that frame of mind, talk to somebody. Speak with somebody. Seek out someone that you can confide in, and that won't judge you and will show you the love that you need. And positive things are there for you. I've been there, and I'm here now. So, know that things can get better, and they will get better.
Lots of good things to come. We'll keep building up positive momentum. Thanks, brother.
Stay positive, guys.
Yeah. So we got some more guests here. We got Aubrey Trujillo back. She's coming back in place, and we have some new guests. I'm gonna let
it's
you.
easiest to come in from the side. Can we let Georgina in?
No,
please. We've got to get our lovely director.
Oh man, I don't want to leave the stage. No, I'll let you. You go ahead and make the little introduction, so I can go get I'm gonna get some donuts or something like that, because there's a few left, right?
I don't think
Jared,
so. You're too
did you know the donuts?
That's Jake.
Jared, Jake. Cool. All right. Georgina, she's been a very dear friend of mine for a lot of years. She came all the way out from Hollywood to come out here. She represents the LGBTQ community. So we're very excited to have her here as well. And I'll let you come jump in, Georgina.
Thanks, dear.
There you are.
Love you, brother. Okay.
Get nice and comfy. Aubrey, you should probably get in a little bit more.
Okay. Are you
There you go.
excuse us for our loud chairs? The only things that move in this room. So, Georgina, we're really, really excited to have you on Satellites, our
I'm
live podcast.
So happy to be here. Thank you.
So we just wrapped in our room with your message, and I loved that your message was so incredibly unique to you, because you are, you know, everyone's story is unique, but you have many elements that speak to this particular message of helping parents to talk to youth about substance abuse and alcohol at a young age. So maybe would you mind sharing with our audience a little bit about what our spot was about? And,
Sure. Yeah.
and yourself, please introduce us, Georgina Feist, producer,
Thank
actress, writer, director. She just directed the spot. She's a director, of course, director. She just finished directing the spot. So welcome, Georgina.
Thank you. Thank you, Aubrey. So we're so blessed to be here in this spot in this Meow Wolf area. We got to pick our own place that was right for our setting, and it was really beautiful how, you know, I had ideas before we did that, but how it just came to life after we found the spot. And the spot that we chose, I chose the kitchen, which is kind of this retro down home kitchen, right? But the cool, fun surprise of it is that you can open the fridge door and go through it into this whole other corridor. Yeah, it's so cool.
It's very cool.
So we played on that, right? And I came in through the fridge and we left through the fridge as a family.
Yeah.
And Jake, who you'll meet here
Just
in a minute, he was our son, and we played the two moms. And it was super fun, but it was also really heartfelt. And we presented a couple different scenarios. I talked about my speaking up for the LGBTQ youth and how they really need to have a place where they can feel accepted and, you know, they can feel ostracized, not even out of something that we've done that's malicious, right?
No.
Just assuming that they're heterosexual or just saying, oh, hey, John, you got a girlfriend, right? That still makes them feel like there's something wrong with them. That's how I felt growing up. I knew starting at 6 years old that there was something different about me because people were making fun of me, both kids and adults making fun of me because I was too boyish, right? And so I talked a little bit about my story around that and how that made me susceptible to substance abuse. And it's something that's really prevalent in the LGBTQ community. The other thing I wanted to include were artists. Artists are different, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, we're different than, Jock Joe and cheerleader.
Sure.
Scannell, right?
I mean, that also is kind of limiting in terminology as well.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
But the processing, the way we process is
Right.
very different. It tends to be more empathic and
More sensitive.
Yeah, can be more sensitive.
We tend to look at things, I think, a little deeper than kids might at a younger age, right?
Sure.
So, just kind of instead of being in the mainstream, I think a lot of artists just feel like they're different.
Sure. And can be made to feel different.
Yeah.
I experienced that as a young artist, as somebody who, I just saw things a little bit differently and interpreted things a little bit different from the people around me. I think a lot of people actually are that way when they're young, before certain social dynamics are pressed upon them and they learn a box with which to operate. So some of us climb into that box very easily and become I don't mean to be a cog in the wheel, but we don't really work outside of that at all. And some of us never even jump into the box to begin with.
Right.
So,
right.
and all perspectives are unique and important, but I think especially with children, we have to be incredibly careful not to inform how they process the world, because their interpretation is their interpretation.
Right, absolutely.
And so we can't tell somebody, oh, well, this is black and white. Well, maybe that's not what they see. Maybe they see colors everywhere. Everything's a spectrum. So it's really more of a curiosity with children, I think, than these are the hard lines that you need to operate within.
Right. And I think the point of my spot was just to say, let's create a safe space for kids and youth they're trying to find out who they are. Let's not tell them who they are or who they should be. The world kind of has these models already. Let's listen to them a little bit more and help them discover who they are, and let them know that they're accepted no matter who they are.
Absolutely. What an incredible message, Georgina. Thank you for making me part of it.
Thank you for being part of it.
It was an absolute honor.
And Aubrey got to share a bit of her upbringing, her youth and growing up as a musician and as a singer, and how that helped guide her life in a much more constructive way than myself, who didn't have that. So I wish I would have found it when I was younger, but I hope that the youths that are out there do find something young that they are passionate about. It doesn't have to be art or music.
It does not at all.
It can be tennis or golf or math or technology, right?
Yeah, or hanging out with your friends.
Yeah.
I mean, hanging out with your friends sounds so like, oh no, what's happening, party. But some people are very social, and especially as kids. So that can be their fun time too, their creative space too. We're all here to be and accomplish something that we came here to do. At least that's what I believe. I don't think we came here with no programming and no desire, or we would just follow rules and do what everybody told us to do.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the fun part.
Yeah. So I think the bottom line is if you have something really positive and constructive in the space already, you're less likely to be veered in a direction that might send you down a path that could be harmful.
I was very blessed to find a creative space and an identity in music at a very young age. It just happened to resonate with me. Music is, to me, it's such a free form of expression. You do learn some more of the rules, and if you go to school for music and that kind of stuff. But when you're a little kid, you make up a song about your cat. You make up a song about your best friend.
I still do that.
Yeah, me too. It's so much fun, right? Absolutely. Yeah. We all sing to our cats, and we all make up.
Of course we do.
We don't admit it, everyone, but we do. So, that that's a part of ourselves that we have at a young age, and it can be written word. It can be just anything, honestly, kinetic, dancing, athleticism, whatever language you find to express yourself. And it changes a lot. I mean, it changes from year to year, from day to day sometimes. So
absolutely. Miley Cyrus says that she always keeps reinventing herself. And just because the her from yesterday is different than the her from 2 years ago doesn't mean the her from 2 years ago wasn't her.
Yeah, or that one is better or worse.
Yeah, right.
I love that.
Yeah,
reinventing yourself doesn't mean that you disliked that person before necessarily.
Absolutely.
So that's really cool. I like that. That's really cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aubrey.
It was such a pleasure having you on the show and
thank you for being
part of your spot. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Our next guest is Jake Porath, a very talented special effects makeup artist who came all the way out from Los Angeles to join us today. He's been helping in a million different ways today, but specifically, he was in Georgina's sketch as well. He played the part of our son, Billy. He did an exceptional job. What was your experience, Jake, on set as Billy, not being behind the camera and fixing everybody's...
Yeah, this is my first time being in front of the camera. So that was, trying to get the hang of that sort of thing. But no, it was a great experience. I'm really glad to be a part of this project. I think it could possibly impact a bunch of lives, and it's a bunch of lives that need some impacting. So I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I know that you have some very unique experiences with regard to substance abuse and alcohol. And I think the most powerful part of your personal story is how your passion for makeup and effects drew you to a healthier part of your life. Would you mind sharing that a little bit about that with our audience?
Yeah. So a bunch of years ago, I wasn't quite as put together as I am now, but I was struggling with some substance abuse problems, and one of my problems with that as a side effect was I couldn't sleep at night. And so I was living at my ex-girlfriend's house at the time. Things with my parents weren't necessarily the greatest. And so she would sleep at night because she had to wake up and go to work early in the morning because she was a CNA, and I couldn't be too loud and too crazy and, doing these kind of things all the time. So I had to find a way for me to put my peace of mind into one area. And so I would sit at night while she would sleep, and I would sculpt, and I would just sculpt my favorite movie monsters that I would see all the time.
Very
and
cool.
one of my first sculptures was actually Frankenstein, which is why I got them tattooed on my hands.
Oh, very cool. Can you
yeah.
put that a little closer to the camera so people can see that?
Boom.
Very cool.
Boris Karloff, Jack Pierce action. But yeah, and then through that I fell in love with sculpting, taught myself how to do mold making things.
You taught yourself.
Yeah, it was. There's a lot on
impressive.
YouTube. I guess if you call YouTube self-taught, then yeah. But
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so I would do that kind of a thing, and then started making my own Halloween masks.
Wow.
And then found a school that you could go do these kind of things and figure out how to make money. And so, yeah, I decided to do that. And when I decided to do that, I knew I needed to be sober for it. So I made the transition and, just started sculpting or painting or doing makeups every time I felt bad, which was more often than not back then. And so I got a lot of practice in,
That's amazing. That's amazing. Was there any particular movie that helped inform your passion for monster making and effects?
Definitely was George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead. Came out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 1968. My grandpa showed it to me when I was 6 years old. It was the first horror movie I ever saw. They actually didn't use any prosthetics in that movie at all. They just used something called mortician's wax, which is what they use to help reconstruct bodies that are laying in the grave for open casket funerals and stuff.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it was really primitive
kind of
makeup. Yeah,
wow, that's kind of
got me
cool.
obsessed with zombies and makeup and effects and these kind of things. So yeah,
That's
just from there, I was that was my thing. I was a little weird movie monster kid.
Cool. What's the coolest effect you've ever got to do?
I impaled my old roommate once. That was pretty cool. It was an effect from this 70s horror movie. There's all these opinions about it. It's called Cannibal Holocaust. It's a very intense movie. But the director and the makeup artist actually got brought to court for that movie.
Oh, I remember there was a remake of it recently.
Yeah,
right?
Green Inferno.
Green Inferno. Yes.
But yeah, they had to prove that they didn't actually
Oh, look who's back.
kill these
Sorry, watch the table.
people in the thing. And so the makeup artist had to show up to the courtroom and explain how he did this effect. And I found the video on YouTube. So I was like, well, that sounded pretty easy. I want to try that.
Gosh.
And I have my roommate let me try it. So I impaled him through the chest. It was pretty cool.
That's
Oh my
amazing.
gosh.
It sounds like you have a kind of a natural gift for effects, for sculpting. Did you do that when you were a kid?
I mean, I've always been making stuff with my hands since I was a kid. Yeah.
Cool.
Before I found clay, it was paper mache or just digging in the dirt. But yeah, no, I've always been not really great at drawing, but just making things in general, gluing things together, things in the 3D for some reason. Yeah.
That's cool. We were just talking with Georgina about how people process and interpret things differently. So, that's just an example of, you said, 2D and that kind of stuff doesn't always make sense to you.
Not always. Sometimes if I'm lucky.
Yeah. Well, Jake, do you have advice to parents regarding how they can speak to youth? Bye, Jerry.
Sorry.
Hi, Jerry. Bye, Jerry. How would you have liked to receive that message? Would it have been more beneficial to you so that you felt like you could have a freer space to express yourself? Or do you think there was a better way?
I don't know. I mean, looking back, all the advice I'm about to give is something I wasn't ready to hear. So that's kind of the big battle behind it. But being honest and not trying to make it sound like a lecture, because it's not a lecture. It's just an honest conversation, and a conversation has to have half one way, half the other way. It's a give and take. It's not just like, this is what I'm telling you to do. This is how it is.
Sure.
It's more so like, what have your experiences have been? How have they made you feel? Did you like it? Did you not like it? You know, these kind of things.
That's a really
Because
good question.
I mean, they're
Did
gonna
you like it?
they're gonna be doing it no matter what.
Mhm.
And strict parents make sneaky kids, so that's not necessarily the route I would go. I would just say be honest and honestly show them like real consequences. Looking back, I wish I had listened. A lot of people had told me, you know, if you don't stop, like, you know, you're gonna die. These kind of things, and then I did stop, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people around me that didn't, and I've unfortunately gotten to watch most of them die, and it's not something I want to wish on anybody, but it's something that you would tell to a kid, and they can't quite comprehend that.
Process it, yeah.
So, I mean, it's a difficult conversation for sure, but it's real and it's real life, so you got to keep it real. And yeah, I don't know if that's good advice or not. But.
I certainly think it is. I certainly think it is. I love. Oh, look. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, Dad. Welcome to the show, Dad.
Yeah.
You must be very proud of this guy. He has done some incredible stuff. We are very, very proud to have him as part of Team Rokitpig. He has made some effects for us already. He worked on our last domestic violence PSA. A brilliant job. He was also on-screen talent in that, so this was not technically your first time on screen.
This was my first time with lines.
Oh wow, he's moving up quickly.
Yeah.
He's going to be a guest star before you know it. So, so we are very, very proud to have you as part of Rokitpig, and we're excited for the Western that's coming up tomorrow.
I'm very excited.
Spoilers! And he's going to be doing a lot of really cool stuff on that. So, dear. Jake is just saying goodbye. Did you want to say how cool he is before he? Oh boy.
Jake is incredible.
Production, right?
I like this kid. He's a keeper. I didn't get to hear what you said, but I know a little
He
bit.
had some incredible wisdom to share with everybody.
Well, with that, with saying goodbye to Jake,
Is it time for music?
we're done
Wait, music.
for episode, huh?
The music, right?
Oh yeah.
Are we taking him down there to see the music?
Oh man, are we doing that?
I mean, I thought it'd be kind of fun to share the first musician with them.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
We're kind of mobile.
All right. You know what? She's the boss. I don't know.
Oh, I'm the boss.
But we need the black magic batteries. There's there 2 other batteries.
No. Yeah, there
run.
are.
Run. All right.
Cool.
So, anyway, I didn't hear what you guys talked about. I don't want to keep repeating, but let's see. What about Jake? What is it? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Minnesota, like just north of Minneapolis. But I was born before that in Pittsburgh, where I went to college too.
Okay.
So it's kind of a wraparound.
And you know, as you're growing up and going through college and you know, just experiencing life, it's a challenge in a lot of ways of just learning and seeing where your life is taking you from the choices you make. You got to Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly. It took some time, but we got there.
When did you land in Hollywood?
It was October 30th, 2019. My first full day in Hollywood was Halloween. I'm really proud of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is interesting because my very first day in Hollywood was on Halloween.
Oh, really?
It was, but it was in, I'm going to get the year wrong, but it was like 2000. It was 2001. Watch out for the table.
Oh, yeah.
Shake. It was actually right after September 11th, and then September and then October is the Halloween. I was at a place called La Boheme.
Okay.
I met David Geffen there. I didn't know who he was at that time, but I got to meet David Geffen. He invited me to his table, and it was crazy. It was wild, but it's been an incredible experience for myself. But it's not about me. I'd like to share. Like, tell me, you're on your own.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. I'm living. Well, I got a bunch of roommates I live with, but but I moved down here by myself.
You came out here by yourself, and you're sustaining, and you're living month to month, and you're you know, tell other people, you know, what is it like from your experience?
I mean, I don't know. When I first moved out here, I was living in this artist commune with I had 45 roommates, I'd say, in a 3-bedroom house. We had 3 bathrooms, so that was kind of a lot.
But how many people?
45.
Wait, 45 people with 1 bathroom?
Or 3 bathrooms.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah. So that was kind of a lot, but through that I got to meet all the amazing roommates and people that I have now, and really build my network and my support structure out here. And I live with all of them now in Silver Lake, and they've just made it a dream and amazing. And I would say if you have dreams and ambitions and goals to move to LA, you should definitely do it. There are people out here with the same mindset as you. You just got to find them and make it happen.
What are some important things? From what I know, your economic situation is makes or breaks anybody. That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
How do you stay alive from day to day, from month to month, and then get to a point where you're more comfortable than not?
Well, so I'm a makeup artist, and so there is job security in that, and there's not. I would say it's a little bit easier than trying to, let's say, make it as an actor. So I have a lot of different jobs that I'll go to, whether it's a big special effects job or if it's just showing up to put powder on some guys so they can go work out in the sun for a commercial. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a lot of what I do. But I also, if need be, I worked at McDonald's for like 7 years, and I would crush it there if I had to. But luckily, I've been able to go on to a set and then meet at least 1 or 2 people that like working with me enough or like my work enough to bring me onto a set next. And I've just been networking that way out here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You had said McDonald's. How is working at McDonald's?
It's about as how it sounds. I mean, I did it for 7 years, so I can't complain too much about it. But I don't know. I learned a lot of good life lessons there. I learned patience, and I learned speed, which is actually really important for my job now.
Okay.
And just being a line cook made me really fast. Got to stand your feet and go, you know.
This is a good topic to go about. The things that are happening in your life currently. There's lessons to be made and learned at every step of the way, whether you realize it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Once I became more in tune with myself, and I say this about building the positive momentum, but also being it comes from being in alignment, from being centered and grounded. You start to take notice to everything that is in your life, because ultimately you are responsible and you are the one that brings everything into your life. And even when you're feeling cruddy and stuff like that,
mm-hmm.
you know, when you analyze it or break it down in an energy level, you realize that, 99% of it, if not all of it, is because of you. And a lot of it is mind,
mm-hmm.
power of your mind. Your mind can play tricks on you. You can lie to yourself. You can feel down on yourself. You can, feed on negative energy and all these things. This is very human. Nothing wrong with it. It's,
mm-hmm.
But once you learn, and I wish they had a class on this, where you can kind of just be in tune with yourself and things that you can do to help build a positive momentum. But I already forgot what I was talking about, kind of. But the idea and the feeling I was trying to do is saying is this. You can learn like Jake learned speed at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Jake is amazing. He's and we always like to help people's careers forward the best we can. Everything doesn't always work out. It's so hard producing. Oh my gosh, it's one of the most difficult things in the world. If I had to start over again 20 years ago, I would have stayed in politics or gone to the FBI or something like that, like what I was wanting to do. But now knowing what I do know, I wouldn't change it for the world, because it is awesome to be in a position. Something that feeds me is being able to put teams together and watch people get to excel and grow in their areas. And so I don't know, man. We're gonna be showing some artists downstairs. We're gonna be 2 of our artists from Helium 3. You're going to get to see Mississippi Jukes perform.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get to see Zach Touchon perform. And then we have 2 guests from Karina Lopez, who's with the Santa Fe Prevention Alliance. I'm going to leave you here all by yourself to talk to everyone.
I don't know about that.
Go get Aubrey.
Okay.
Dude, thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Oh man, okay. I haven't had a lot of sleep. Look how red I am. This is from all the horseback riding. If I could get Angela, if you can pop on, and Robert for a second.
She's talking to the band. She'll be up in a minute.
Oh, okay, cool. Just so we have a little bit of a moment before we get started, get downstairs. There's Robert. Cool. So one of the things, in the process of doing this, and getting the word out there about substance abuse, we wanted to do something that was creative. There's Aubrey.
Hi.
Hey, I wasn't sure how you wanted to work with getting us from here with all these wires down to there. How do we do that?
Very carefully.
Is it with a phone or?
No. We can just carry this, can't we?
No. Well, there's a whole bunch of things.
Well,
Can
then
we do
I
it?
guess we'll have to just loop you guys into the musicians at a later date.
No, can we do it with the phone, or are we going to do that later? It would be so much easier as a producer right now if I could just say goodbye to you guys right now
Then let's
and
do
just
it.
enjoy that, and we can go.
You can
live.
do it with the phone, sir. If you'd like.
How
to do
about
it
you
with
guys
the
join
phone.
us live? Oh, I'm sorry, Angela. What was that?
If you want, you can do it with the phone. Just pop out, and Robert and I will entertain our guests for a few minutes.
Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. So we just hop back on from the phone.
From the
What if we pop on the
phone.
phone and we just go down to where they're shooting now and just kind of live behind the scenes and
Sure.
kind of just do that? So we'll do
Wow,
that while we have
awesome.
you. You guys are getting to learn production firsthand. It usually isn't necessarily like done like this, but we are makeshift made imagination. That's Rokitpig, and we make it actually comes down to making miracles and making magic, and it's being real.
For sure. I got to get us off airplane mode for 1 second.
Why are you on airplane mode?
Oh,
God.
production, I guess.
I can show the Obscura trailer. I got that in the studio there. I can run that.
I mean,
For
that sounds
anybody
like
who hasn't seen it.
Yeah, why don't you show the Obscura trailer? So Aubrey is one of the leads. She's the lead of the franchise, as you know. And this is something that was written by Lachlan Paul Jones and myself, and directed by Grant James, Joe Lujan, and myself. And again, it's the same thing. It's putting a whole bunch of people together that are wanting to achieve the same goals. And we did this during COVID, at the beginning of COVID. So it's a miracle in itself. We'll go ahead and start it.
Hi, guys. You're
Hey,
joining
welcome
us
back.
live from the stage. So let me give you a little tour here. We just came from upstairs where the black and white room was. And now we're here with our team. Hi, guys. Say hello. Hello to the Rokitpig family and all over. And oh, here is our first set of guests. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, guys. Who are you?
That's Sugar Lips right there.
Oh, hello, Sugar Lips. Wow, what a nickname.
Sugar Lips.
Who do we have here?
I'm Sugar.
What's the difference between
Just sugar. Just sugar.
I'm just
All
sugar.
right, just sugar. And
Brown sugar.
of course, brown sugar. All right, you guys. So, how do you introduce yourselves when you're playing in a band?
Trio CPR.
Trio
Carlos, Phil, and Ryan.
Awesome. Oh my goodness, guys.
Proud of spelling you guys got in.
Well,
We're out of order.
Oh no! So it's getting loud in here because the production team is moving in from the last room, and they're setting up now to go ahead and record our live artists. So you guys have to get ready. I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you for joining us. And now we're just going to explore what production looks like while they set you guys up. Thank you. Break legs. All right, friends, this is our amazing first AD, Steffi. Wonderful. Thank you for being here, Steffi. Stephanie. It's not Steffi, it's Stephanie. All right, Bridget, the Wonder PA. Oh my goodness, incredible. You guys know Jake. This is one of our artists. He'll be singing a bit later. Mark Zamira. We're very lucky to have you here today. Thank you. Oh, she thought she was going to get to avoid it, but she didn't. Who is this? I don't know. Oh, this is Karina Lopez, who we alluded to earlier today, and her team. Do you want to introduce yourself? Oh no, we got hypnotized by the camera. It happens. It happens. Oh no. So it doesn't get any worse than that. Don't worry, right, guys?
Thank you. You really took the
Thank you, guys.
I'm staring dead at the camera.
We would not be here without these three ladies. They are from the Santa Fe Prevention Alliance, and they have put this entire project together. So, Karina, can you tell us a little bit about the Santa Fe Prevention Alliance and how this message came to be?
Hello, everyone. So the Santa Fe Prevention Alliance is a coalition of members in the Santa Fe community in northern New Mexico. It's made up of, beyond community members like service providers, different agencies, programs, the Santa Fe Police Department, the Fire Department, multiple entities that come together to advocate and educate the community about the risks of substance use, underage drinking, really trying to bring awareness on harm reduction practices and medication-assisted treatment.
That's wonderful. Well, we are very thrilled to be here. Thank you so much for putting this together, for making us all part of this important message.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys, time to finish our tour of the producers. Watch me put my mask back on here as I walk through. Okay, thank you. One-handed. Oh, we're getting good now. All right, guys, here's the rest of the team. I'm just going to do a flyby. These are our amazing people. We love them all so very much. Could not happen without these incredible people. Hello, Luke, editor extraordinaire. We're this close to our first musical number.
For a moment, please, and listen to me,
Oh.
everyone.
Producer on set.
What we're going to do, we're at the tail end of our day. This has been amazing and fun, and so thank you, everyone, for making this happen. This is sugarless. No, sugar-free. Toothless.
Not just like Carlos.
Brown sugar. Is it brown sugar? Is it really brown sugar? It's not brown
No.
sugar. It's the Carlos
Mendia.
They're gonna go ahead and perform two songs. What we're gonna do here is they're gonna perform a first song, and then they'll take how many 20 seconds, or how do you? Okay, cool. Well, I don't want to rush you guys too much. Just a little bit. Okay, cool. So they're gonna do two songs. They're gonna do the first song, and then they'll set up, and within a minute or so, they'll do their second song, and then they will be done. What we'll do next is is it Mark? Cool. This is a question for Jerome and everyone. Mark, would you like to perform on stage here, or would that be okay for you?
That would be fine. Yeah, all right. You can go in that little room there.
Oh, why don't you go in that little room there?
Sit in one of those chairs there.
How about in the little room?
Yeah.
We don't have anyone in the little room. Okay, cool. So after they finish their second song, they will move off stage, and Mark will position himself inside the little room, and we will move the lights in accordingly to light it up nicely, and then he will perform two songs. After we're done with those two songs, we will take Zach Touchon, which is
He's in the lobby just waiting.
okay, and then we take Mississippi Jukes, and we will be performing somewhere within the same vicinity, just changing the lights.
Okay, guys, so now you got a little bit of an idea of everything that's going to go on. We're going to have you tune in for one song. Ooh, I love this room, guys. This is the Juneteenth room. So powerful. Okay, so we are going to tune in for one song, and then I'm going to grab Jerry, and we're going to say goodbye to you all because we appreciate you and we love you so much for being here. So thank you. Let's go enjoy a song together.
Are you still on?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Hey, I know you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
So is this still satellites?
It sure is.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
we have gotten so good. We are becoming the news station. You like CNN or Fox or ESPN? We got Rokitpig TV, but it'll probably be called something else. But it's healthy through satellites.
Yeah. So I just told them that we're going to be. They're going to get to join us for one song, and then you and I are going to go sign off, and the rest you'll have to tune in and see later.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair enough.
Awesome.
And we're gonna get this. We'll show you guys Zach Touchon and Mississippi Jukes later, since you got to meet them. Awesome. See you guys.
All right. See you soon. Oh no. Well, we'll see. We're going to see that song. I promised you a song. We're going to get a song.
Cool. Sugar free. Oh, you got the name. Sugar free. Sugarless.
No, that's not their name. They were joking. Carlos, Phil, and Ryan. CPR. Carlos, Phil, and Ryan. All right. Here they are. If you've never seen it from this side, guys, this is what it looks like to be in front of all these cool, amazing people.
Cool. You guys are in about 2 minutes. What I'll say, I'll just say camera's rolling, and I'll go action, and you don't have to start at that exact second. When I go like that, then you just take whatever time, and if you like look at each other, make eye contact, or do your lips or whatever, and then you go. Word. Hey, someone get a picture with me. Yeah, and then all these people taking pictures. Thanks, guys.
Well, this one's running. That's right, you professional.
Said bird up.
Bird. Oh boy.
How much more
The
time?
suspense.
We're ready to roll, I think.
Oh,
All right, we're ready. All right.
Oh, cool. You guys ready?
If you're not a musician, get out of there. It's not. I don't think so. The light would be if it was. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Oh, are you gonna be in it?
And you can do that too. Can you come in?
All right.
Jake, where's Jake? Come here. You just hold that.
Okay.
You can watch this.
Yeah.
Make sure you can see us. We're still live.
All right, guys, pictures up. Let's roll it. Roll down.
Shout speed. How do I do that?
Camera. Quiet, please.
Please.
You ready? Okay. Scene 6, take 1.
Wow, we have made it to the end of our production. We have all our musical guests. Behind us is CPR. It's Carlos, Phil, and Ryan.
That's right. Yeah.
And where are we?
We are at Meow Wolf in the music hall. There are a couple of stages built perfectly for brilliant musicians.
Yes, and we want to thank the Santa Fe Prevention Alliance for putting this together and asking Rokitpig to be part of it and getting the message of adults, getting out the message of substance abuse, drugs and alcohol. And the more we talk about this, the more of us are going to make it and survive and be around to inspire and live healthy lives. So you guys enjoy everything in your life. All right.
And now, CPR.
CPR.
Dios te guarde, madrecita. Cada día yo pienso en ti. Si lejos de ti me encuentro, en mi corazón yo siento tu cariño, tu ternura, tu amor sin condición. Dios te guarde, madrecita. Tú eres todo para mí. cariño incomparable, lo más lindo para mí. Que Dios te guarde, madrecita. Hoy celebramos tu grandeza. Reconocemos tu nobleza. Gracias a Dios por tu belleza. Eres una sin igual. Que Dios te guarde, madrecita. Hoy celebramos tu grandeza. Reconocemos tu nobleza. Gracias a Dios por tu belleza. Eres una sin igual. Dios te guarde, madrecita. Tú eres todo para mí. Un regalo envió del cielo, en mi vida un gran consuelo. Tu cariño incomparable, lo más lindo para mí. Que Dios te guarde, madrecita. Hoy celebramos tu grandeza. Reconocemos tu nobleza. Gracias a Dios por tu belleza. Eres una sin igual.
Wow, guys. What a thrill.
yes.
We're going to end in one of my very favorite rooms. And thank you all so very, very much for tuning in. This has been such a joy for us, such an incredible experience. I'm so lucky to be able to get you all in here to be part of this as well. So thanks, you guys, for joining us on Satellites. Anything else you'd like to say, dear?
This is the cotton candy room, and as you see here, everything is cotton candy based and candy based. It actually smells like it looks. It has an incredible perfume of candy and sweet, and we all know I like
sugar.
Hey, everyone. Angela, Robert, Adam, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love to Aiden, and thank you for your support, guys. Appreciate it. If we can be helpful to you, reach out. Take care.
See you soon.
Universe.
Let's check out the candy.
You can't keep living in the past. Life goes on, but doesn't last forever. Well, you can't change what's been said or what's been done. It's gone and dead. So what's your worry? So what's your worry? Ooh, time traveler. Ooh, time traveler. Yeah. So what's your hurry? So what's your hurry? Oh, time travels